Well, the sun's starting to set here in beautiful Washington State. Everywhere you look, there's just majestic scenery. And the ultimate here at Nationals 2025 has been pretty spectacular too. The energy should crescendo tonight as the University of Washington women take on Carleton Syzygy. Two legacy programs, both have played brilliantly over the past few days, and one of these teams will advance to meet British Columbia in the final tomorrow. UW took down Tufts in pool play and then got past Colorado in quarters this morning. Carleton clobbered Stanford in their quarterfinal, and here we go, the final final semifinal of this quadruple header. Evan Lepler alongside Katie Killebrew. We're getting our act together, Katie. This should be a really fascinating game. Teams that are led by sensational sophomores, but obviously deep, talented teams with a ton of connections. Seattle kids usually go to UW or Carleton if they're into Frisbee.
Well, we were joking which team actually could have the most hometown advantage given where they were from and the amount of alumni that they have. But these two teams have really impressed me. Carleton absolutely dismantling Stanford. Stanford known for their zones, and they had an upset last year and punched their ticket all the way to the final. But Carleton all the way through made that one theirs.
Well, they ran away from Superfly. Colorado a much tighter quarter this morning. But Washington, the better team down the stretch right as the clock expired, right on cue. And look, we talk about these sensational sophomores. Lauren Gadu for Washington, Chagall Gelfand for Carleton, joining these legacy programs. Carleton, so many appearances in the semis and finals, but like Washington, has only won the whole thing once. They believe this could be the year Carleton enters as the 2 seed, and the number 1 seed, British Columbia, awaits. Chagall Gelfand came to Northfield, Minnesota last year as a freshman and immediately became one of the best players in college ultimate, Katie. She has hit every check mark for greatness on her journey thus far.
She has, and she's really able to play both ways for this Syzygy team. Finding space in front of the end zone, throwing, breaking the mark, high releases. She's an outlet for this team and finds her teammates. She does such a good job of creating space, changing direction. She's so difficult to guard because she could throw it or she can sky you deep. But she might have a big matchup on her hand in Lauren Gadu. Lauren Gadu is taking the biggest defensive matchups for this Washington Element side. You'd think that this player would be a part of the O-line, but as an athlete, letting her absolutely dismantle other teams, she is taking the biggest matchups in the division and making them look like a footnote in her poster.
Yeah, I use the verb gadooed, as in Tufts got gadooed in pool play. Ridiculous athleticism, playmaking, precision, and this is a Washington team, look, that did not have a dominant regular season by any means, but they have improved as the year has gone on. And look, it's something we hear a lot at this stage of the tournament from coaches and captains. We think we're really peaking at the right time. It's never been more true than with this Washington Element team. And this is Frisbee.
We saw the Washington Element side dancing before this game. Syzygy also been known to have some full team celebrations. I think it's a testament to these two programs how bought in the entire roster is to being in this game, making an appearance, and really contributing throughout the tournament. You know, we always talk about the stereotypical responses that coaches make when we talk to them before games. And a lot of times they say we lean into our depth, we lean into our depth. And really with these two teams, that feels true.
Both teams have won with their D-line, getting strings of breaks, giving the O-line margin for error, not that they've often needed it. Washington won the women's title back in 2012. Jillian Gaudreau, one of the coaches of this Element squad, was a senior on that team. The Carleton women haven't won it all since the year 2000, when they beat UNCW 15-9, 25 years ago. Is the quarter-century drought gonna end tomorrow afternoon? In order to have a chance to make that happen, they gotta take care of business tonight. Carleton won the toss and chose the side. They wanted the wind at their backs, and Washington said, we'll start on D. So that's why Carleton's on offense in their blue jerseys. We saw UBC putting on a clinic of throwing fundamentals, cutting, spacing as well. This is Opal Burris, her dad Lou, a champion, a legendary coach, leading Oregon Fugue to multiple titles. He's now joined the Carleton coaching staff along with Logan Weiss and Courtney Kiso, adding all that much more expertise to the Syzygy Brain Trust. And Burris is an important part of this Carleton offense. But no one's more important than Chagall Gelfand. And that throw is not in yet. Naomi Fina still with work to do. Looking back to Gelfand, she's not in either. Gelfand push pass for the opening goal. Eliza Barton in the end zone for Syzygy.
I was really trying to focus that point on which Washington defenders matched up on which people. I think I was expecting to see Lauren Gadu matched up on Chagall Gelfand. But Gadu is actually trying to shut down Naomi Fina, who we haven't talked about yet, but has been a dynamic part of this Carleton offense, going every other, slicing very quickly with her throws. And Carleton had to throw a lot of throws. The wind hasn't been significant as the sun starts to set. And Fina started that O point, but she's actually been much more contributing to the defensive presence for Carleton. But a lot of these Carleton players will rotate through O and D, so they're not playing strict lines.
Gelfand staying out there on this D point. Gelfand just threw her 18th assist of the tournament, which ties her with the newly minted Callahan winner, UCSB's Laura Blumey, joining the sorority of Callahan winners. Of course, Carleton never nominates anyone for the Callahan, part of their mystique.
In on one, in on one.
Washington Element on offense, challenged immediately. Lucy Tanner gets it back to Hickey. Kelly Tam back to Tanner. Savannah Tucker was going deep, but the throw goes to the contested reset. Pretty good defense there by Ava Fisher. What are you seeing from the Carleton pressure on this opening defensive point, Katie.
It feels like these two teams are just feeling each other out, playing person defense, trying to get an upper hand, but it's a person force and nothing special upfield. They're just making Washington work for it.
Sonia Lee gets it to the middle. KJ Hickey into the end zone for the early equalizer. Lucy Tanner.
Lucy Tanner is a name we're going to be saying a lot today. She is a dynamo on this offensive team for Element, getting it every other, and that second effort grab right off the bat is one of the reasons why she's so scary, because she might not get it the first time, but she will keep fighting for possession all the way through. This was a little bit far, bouncing out of her hand, and you can see the focus to go all the way there, past it, fitting defender as well, and then getting up to be sure for that score.
Hickey to Tanner to punctuate the point. University of Washington entered as the 6th seed, and the 6th seed is always an interesting spot, Katie, because the schedule as it has been pretty consistently for USA Ultimate at Nationals has the 6th seed playing early Friday morning, but the 3 seed in the pool doesn't play their first game until Friday afternoon. And the 3 seed usually plays their first game to the end zone. What a catch by Carleton. Naomi Fina off the deflection. Washington thought they had the block, and instead it's Fina with a hold.
Carleton's offense moves so quickly, and Fina is a player who goes deep in that space. You can see this leading pass, and then out of nowhere, the big, great defensive effort, and then the snag from Fina. Leading pass. What great defensive pressure, just didn't quite get enough on it.
Coming right at you. Caitlin Eigel, the Washington defender who came that close to a block. But the point I was getting at was the Washington Tufts game was the second game for Element, but just the first for EWO. And for Tufts, their first game at Nationals, Washington had already settled in, and it showed as Washington rolled to that win. Now another deep shot, and it's Savannah Tucker accelerating into the end zone. What a play.
If these first 4 points are anything to go on, the billing of this game does not disappoint. Savannah Tucker, one of the captains of this team, electrifying 2 defenders in the same space, and that throw from Tanner all the way to the end zone, getting horizontal for this. You can see Burris trying to tack it down right there, forcing Tucker to lay out.
I'd love to see the wide angle, if we can, of that sequence. I don't know if we have it from the drone, because it looked like Burris and Tucker were pretty even when that throw went up, and then Tucker turned it on. Tucker, one of the 3 Element captains, along with Anna Pettis and Megan Louie. I mean, look at Tucker outrun Burris at the end. They weren't even. Burris had position. Shanti Shire, veteran on this Carleton team, rips it right into the deep. Kome Matsutori was waiting for it. The game's first turnover gives UW a break chance, and they give it right back. to the end zone, and that is a score for Kylia McCroy. McCroy puts Carleton up 3-2 on the dirty hold, the third member of our broadcast crew for this semifinal. The newly minted national champion head coach of the Wesleyan women's team that took the D3 title last week, Keith Rayner, is down on the sideline. Keith, what is the energy like on the field right now?
Well, Evan, this is an electric atmosphere. You can really sense that the University of Washington is the hometown team. The crowd is going crazy for them. Carleton is trying to match that energy. They have a strong fan base in the stands, and when they go to the sidelines, they're trying to get that energy engaged and get that noise up, but it's hard to overcome the power of this Washington crowd. It is an intense atmosphere down here on the field.
Opal Burris with the pull for Carleton. And what do we got?
It looks like that is
Offsides.
an offside.
Yeah, everybody kind of stopped like it was an offside, but did not see the signal. So
they're starting at half field, so it must be their second offside violation.
Washington's O-line hasn't turned it over yet. Tanner. Back to Lee.
And Carleton's playing in his zone set. A lot of teams will change to person close to the end zone, but Carleton's sticking with the poach look.
Sophia Palmer has been Washington's leader in assists so far at Nationals. Palmer seeing mostly just blue jerseys. No one's really cutting for Washington toward the disc. Element settling for resets.
The handlers are doing a good job of moving it, but they're not having the cutters in the backfield that are changing the shape of the defense very much.
Washington's offense has slowed. Look, I've seen Megan Louie over there open for a while, and finally Sophia Palmer found her, and just like that, they break through the zone. 3-all.
It's really good patience from this Washington side. It's one of the reasons that their offense has been so good, is that they wait for the right option, for an easy option. We can see those players open in that deep space, but they're electing not to try to go over the top. They're not trying to risk it, knowing how good Carleton's defenders are, that they're hunting in that space. Finally finding this outlet, and the score for Tam.
At halftime of Washington's quarterfinal earlier this morning, Jillian Gaudreau was interviewed, and she was asked about the season and where they're at. And she said, it's been an unusual season, but we're peaking at the right time. I mean, Washington did not have any dominant tournaments, but it was sectionals, or conferences as it's now called, where the pieces started to fall into place for Element. They played really well in a 15-7 win over Oregon. They lost to UBC in the final, but felt like they learned from that game. They played the Thunderbirds to a 12-10 loss at regionals after losing 15-9 at sectionals. And I know it's conferences, but to some of us it'll always be sectionals. And a drop in the backfield. Careless hands there from Audrey Gedicke. Second break chance for the UW D-line. Audrey Parrott. What a tournament she's had, Katie.
One of the players that's really impressed me from this D-line from Washington.
Isabella Farr, look into the end zone, and it's deflected and caught. My goodness, that's how Washington takes the lead. Rowan Limp, the freshman, puts Element in front.
Rowan Limp is another player that has really made an impact for this Element D-line, a freshman on this team. Teammates with Farr, knowing this connection, getting underneath it, getting up. Gelfand gets a piece of it, not once, not twice, and then it ends up in the hands of Rowan Limp.
Stall 9 prayer. And Isabella Farr connects with her high school teammate Rowan Limp. Wins over Utah, UCSB, Georgia, and Tufts in Pool C. Earning the bye to quarters where they took care of business. And Carleton beat Davis, Flywheel, Santa Cruz, and Fugue.
The Washington D-line did something very interesting last point where they were running a zone defense, but then playing person on Chagall Gelfand once she left the handler space. And then they transitioned to a person defense. And it was that transition that gave them the turn last time. We'll see if they do it again as we're hearing the sideline counting.
Barton gets it back. And now Gelfand downfield.
And they have in fact transitioned to a person defense, so they're doing it for a certain number of throws, which can really get teams. This time Carleton transitions a little bit better as they make their way towards the end zone.
And against the matchup defense, Gelfand's been going every other. And that will float just long enough for Fina to run it down.
Her ability to turn and sprint is so good. And it's so frustrating as a defender to think that you have that space locked down. It looks like it's going to be an overthrow, but this Carleton team trusts Fina to get it into that space. Chagall Gelfand having to work hard for that hold. And then you can see Fina facing the disc with that blue hood, goes underneath, turns, overthrown, and then puts on the jets into that space. For what other teams might be a turn with that away pass in the end zone, which can look so tantalizing, that one is well corralled in by Syzygy.
Carleton coach Logan Weiss said about Naomi Fina, she plays a surprising style for someone who's so small at 5'1", just with her speed and her ability to change direction and, in Logan's words, sometimes make people look stupid when they're trying to guard her. Here's Palmer, working with Lee. Tucker. Gelfand on the mark. And Gelfand thought Tucker threw a little forearm into her. I think Tucker called a foul, and Gelfand was like,
All right.
no.
And would you like an observer rule? Observer ruling, it was a fast count. So we're coming 1 on the contested violation.
So despite the contact, they were arguing about a fast count.
And that seemed very fast for me for that full 10 seconds as Washington gets it off that sideline finally.
Through the hands of Sophia Palmer in the end zone. Carleton has Gelfand on the field for their first break chance. Fisher up the line for Henley. Oh, slither throw back to Chagall, and the deep shot looking for Parrott. Parrott beats Palmer, and Carleton has countered with their first break of the night.
These two teams are so fascinating to watch them match up. We saw Chagall Gelfand change over onto that line, playing that defense, trying to get a break back. Now they're back to even, or as we would say, on serve, scoring all the points that they start on offense. And she takes so many reps for this Carleton team, and you can see why the coaches keep putting her on the field. She is able to create offensive magic.
She's got 4 assists already. Stand still, dime. And I thought watching her at Nationals last year, Katie, look, when people say that Anthony Edwards is the next Michael Jordan, that's A, premature, and B, hyperbolic. But there are seeds of Edwards that remind you of Jordan. And I feel the same way about Chagall Gelfand and Alex Snyder, who is the greatest thrower of her generation in women's ultimate Frisbee. And when you see Gelfand as young as she is, but as electric and solid and steady and spectacular, long way to go to match what Alex did. That's another gorgeous deep shot, and it will stay in bounds for an incredible layout score. Megan Louie, the Element captain, has her highlight here in the semis.
If we're talking about talented young players with the seeds of throwing greatness, Farr has to be putting her name.
Yeah, the freshman Isabella Farr.
She's going to be putting her name in the hat for that one, but what a throw. Getting it up the line in power position, turning, and then putting it into space. You can see how long it sits and gives the receiver a chance. Maybe thought it wasn't going to be caught, and celebrating, looking at the space, going back to the way it came, and then oceans of space for Louie to run into. Watching this disc all the way to the catch.
Had to worry about staying in bounds too. Observer right there. Clearly contact before the line. The grad student for UW, first year captain Megan Louie, ties this thing up. We are on serve, 1 break per side. Great defense, second effort, secures the block. Rowan Lip making another play.
And Gadu was taking the Gelfand matchup, and they're still matched up upfield.
Matsutori feeds it forward. Lif Ladone. Layout, reset, catch for Farr. And a beautiful break over to Gadu, into the end zone, off the fingertips of the intended target. And it's intercepted. But another turnover right back to UW as Burris overthrows Gelfand on the swing.
And takes an injury. That was a lot of contact with the ground, giving Chagall a little bit too much to do in that space. And we're also seeing the ancillary sub for Washington, Farr, coming off, being replaced by Tanner.
Now Farr's just getting the disc, but Tanner did replace somebody. Second break chance to the point for Element. On the doorstep. On a Pettis. That's a beautiful throw to get it off the line. Gadu throws her second turn in the red zone this point. Brief stoppage, but now we're ready to go again. Shire gets things moving. Gelfand lets it rip. Kylia McRoy just shy of the goal line. Burris to Shire. Missed opportunities for Element. Couple possessions on the doorstep of their second break.
For a defensive line that has been so good offensively when they get the disc, I don't know that they've faced consistent defensive pressure like this. And they're throwing slightly too high for their receivers. Limp almost gets that from McRoy. Both sides matching up so well. Shire with the kick spike after that upline score.
Lou Burris.
Don't like the hook.
Talk about one-of-a-kind characters in the Ultimate community. Lou Burris is up there. As thoughtful an Ultimate mind as you'll come across. Nora Landry, one of the 4 coaches of this Element team, talking with Lucy Tanner about that last sequence. I remember when Lou was coaching Oregon in the final, I think it was 2015, and he was retiring after a long run coaching fugue because he wanted to spend more time with his dad and his young children, including Opal Burris, who now is on her second season as a 19-year-old sophomore with Carleton. But when he stepped away from Fugue, she was 9 years old. I believe Lou has another daughter Helen, who's coming to Carleton next year. Not to mention the hotshot prospect Chloe Hakimi, who is also coming to Carleton next year to join Chagall Gelfand and Syzygy. Gelfand adds to her stat sheet, and Carleton has the chance to take the first multi-goal lead for either side in this game. Squeezing it through for Fisher. Gelfand to the end zone. Brilliant! Audrey Parrott makes it 7-5, Syzygy. Feels like it's only a matter of time when Chagall Gelfand gets the disc.
Thinking as a coach, how would I approach this? Part of me thinks maybe don't force them forehand because they're so good at those. But also having seen the backhand of Chagall Gelfand, I don't know that I can counsel that the other direction either.
The D and the dime.
I think part of it means is respecting the ability of Syzygy's receivers once they get in that deep space to put on the jets. I think sometimes people underestimate Audrey Parrott to their peril because she is committed to that end zone and scoring for her team.
Well, it's an interesting night for Julia Snyder, who played with Carleton, had a bunch of great runs deep into nationals, then went to grad school at UW, and joined the Washington coaching staff this year. Is this another offside? Looks to be some confusion about exactly what happened.
Okay, let me.
You don't usually see observers confer about an offside call.
So, was it a pivot? Okay.
From our perspective, it looked more like she was pointing with people establishing a pivot, so we do not think it was a pivot. We think it can be taken at outfield.
We are fortunate to have Mitch Dengler in the booth.
What?
Mitch.
There's an offsides on the poll, but Syzygy was claiming they set a pivot before, so they were basically declining the offside, not signaling offsides and set a pivot, and the observer said that's not what happened. So they just took it at midfield.
Can you decline an offsides call?
Yeah, you just take it where you want it. That's the origin of changing the rules in the beginning, because it used to not be able to decline it, and you could have a pull that was a worse outcome or a better outcome than the offside. So we made it where you could either choose the offsides or the result of the pull. So,
gotcha. Thank you, Mitch Dengler. Very few people love being at college nationals more than Mitch. He's said many times it's his favorite tournament, and I think many people in the ultimate world agree. There's hardly a better day than Sunday. Quarters, everybody up early, and then semis into the night. With two great teams, there's a pick called, hang on, and then Mia Beeman-Weber waves off the call, and it will be a score. So Washington gets back within one.
Yeah, Beeman-Weber quickly signaling that pick didn't affect the outcome of the throw of the play, and we move on from that. Clean work from the Washington O-line after having been broken the point before. Leading pass out to that far side. Sometimes when you get stuck, you're trying to go really close because you're like, oh, we only have 3 or 4 feet to go to get in the end zone. But Washington does a good job of actually moving the disc away from the space where the other cutters were and throwing into space instead.
Far set to pull for Washington.
You can hear the crowd really getting into it. This is one of the most electric atmospheres of all of the tournaments I've attended. It's one of my favorites, like Mitch Dangler.
Gelfand back to work. Fina resets to Chagall. This is Barton. And again, it's Gelfand. Oh, wow! Looked like Carleton was about to take half, and Gedeke doinked it. Huge opening here for Element. Can they unwrap this gift that Carleton just laid under their tree? Nope. Heck of an effort there from Gadu. But it's been a relatively quiet first half for Gadu. And Chagall Gelfand seeking her 6th assist, and instead it's the goal for Gelfand. And she scores on the throw from Burris. And Carleton carries an 8-6 lead into the break.
Washington had their chances, but too far for Gadu, and Carleton takes care of business.
Chagall Gelfand involved in 6 of the 8 scores, and it's Syzygy leading Element 8-6 at the half.
Hey yo, the rain was steady pouring, heard the drops, this was meant to be. Chilling in my crib, no doubt, peep the scenery. Telephone rang, then it stopped before I could answer it. I heard a knock at the door, so I answered it. And what Jermaine, he had a little situation. Beef up on the block, and orthodox to led the confrontation. He said these cats be acting hard on the block.
The 2025 USA Ultimate College Championships are presented by Discraft, home of the Ultra Star, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Your place for all your ultimate and disc golf needs. Visit discraft.com. We make flying discs fun.
Carleton leads over Washington in this second women's semifinal, the 4th semi of the day. Let's go down to Keith Rayner on the sideline for a conversation about the first half.
I'm here with Washington Element coach Jillian Gaudreau. Jillian, this is an incredible atmosphere. Washington has a lot of hometown fans here. What does it feel like for the players? How is it impacting the team?
You know, it's exciting. There's a lot going on, a lot of noise, and we have a lot of cheers on our behalf. But honestly, we're really trying to focus on our bubble and just focus on ourselves. That's it.
Very competitive first half, but obviously Carleton in the right spot now. What do you feel like you have to adjust going into the second half?
I mean, multiple times this tournament we've overcome a single break, right? And so I think we have a lot of opportunities to continue to step up our game. I think on offense, it's just about hitting the first open person and not hesitating. And on D, we'll continue to give them a few different looks.
Chagall Gelfand, obviously a very talented player, has had a big impact on the game for Carleton in the first half. How do you try and neutralize her going into the second?
Again, I think it's a matter of a few different defensive looks. I think we have an opportunity to have some really big matchups on her. and work to shut her down.
All right, thank you so much, Jillian. Good luck in the second half. Back to you in the booth.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Jillian has been all about this UW program since she played from 2008 to 2012, culminating in the 2012 championship. In 2013, she wasn't really on the staff. She came to nationals as kind of sideline support to help out, and that roped her back in, and she's been coaching ever since. And this is some of the most important coaching she'll have to do, Katie, to try to get her team back into it. Look, they've created break chances, but their D-line hasn't been able to capitalize like they have throughout the tournament.
I don't know if it's just the moment being on this field or the defensive pressure that the Carleton O-line is able to put on them, but it's just hesitating. They're not flowing the way that they were in the quarterfinals, and I think that they're going to have to find this momentum to get back in this game, because Carleton right now has had 2 break chances and they've converted both of them, and that kind of efficiency on the other side is really difficult when your O-line gets broken. I haven't seen Washington cross anyone over, but we'll see what Carleton can pull out.
Let's get the Carleton perspective. Keith standing by with Logan Weiss.
Logan, really competitive first half, really crazy atmosphere. How's the team dealing with kind of going up against a rival crowd?
I think we're really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's like a lot of people are playing in front of their families, playing in front of all kinds of folks they know, and we're having a great time. I think it feels like it's a little bit of an adjustment to playing in a stadium, but I think we've made that. We're there. We've got this halftime to regroup and get after it.
Team's able to get up with a break in the first half. You got the 2-goal lead. What kind of adjustments are you thinking about making as you go into the second half?
I don't know if there's any big change that we're trying to make, as much as we're just trying to continue to establish our systems and play the way that we want to. But I don't think there's any major difference that we're looking for in this second half.
How do you feel like the team is handling the moment? It's a big stage, you're playing under the lights. How do you feel like the team is handling that emotionally?
I think early on it felt like a little bit of like an adjustment here where it's loud. Just the pace of the game feels a little bit different than playing at the other field site. But now I think like that's one of our talking points of halftime is like we're exactly where we want to be. And we're doing it like everything is going our way, so we're here to enjoy it as much as we're here to like get it done.
Awesome, thank you. Good luck in the second half, Logan.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. The Men's Callahan Award is about to be presented to one of the following 5 people. North Carolina's Ben Dameron in his black dark side jersey. You see Oregon's Chandler Boyd Flegel, Cal's Dexter Clyburn, Cal Poly Slow Core's Kyle Liu, and looks like Tristan Yarder, the Pitt and Sabanor veteran, who is a finalist as well, is not present. But these are 4 worthy candidates.
As a second-year captain, he led Ursa Major to the team's best end-of-season ranking in 20 years.
Dexter models hard work, dedication, and spirit every day. He leads the team in skies, blocks, and amount of trash picked up on the sideline at the end of a tournament. Ursa Major could not be more excited to have him as their nominee and a finalist for the 2025 Callahan Award. From the University of California, Ursa Major, Dexter Clyburn. Kyle Liu was a part of the Bay Area youth scene before making his way to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. As a captain and player, Kyle has been integral to Slow Core's success. He has helped lead Slow Core to multiple top 5 national finishes and the team's first trip to the national final in 2024. A true leader, a fantastic ultimate player, and an elite competitor, Kyle has helped shape Slow Core into the team it is today. Beyond the college division, Kyle has competed at high level in the club division and will be traveling to Spain this summer as part of the U.S. U24 national team. Slowcore is proud to have Kyle as their nominee for this year's Callahan Award. Please welcome from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo Slowcore, Kyle Liu. Tristan Yarder has competed at an extremely high level for his entire career, beginning with the New Jersey Devil program and Columbia High School before moving on to the club division with teams like Garden State and Temper, among others. Tristan developed an extremely diverse skill set of throws at a relatively early age and has remained one of the college division's best players and throwers. Please welcome from the University of Pittsburgh and Sabanur, Tristan Yarder. Please give a big round of applause for all of your 2025 Callahan Award finalists in the men's division. And now, please put your hands together for this year's Callahan Award winner in the men's division. From the University of California, Ursa Major, Dexter Clyburn.
Dexter Clyburn has won the 2025
Dexter.
Callahan Award. The product of the birthplace of Ultimate, Columbia High School in Maplewood, New Jersey. And that's a cool moment for the Cal program. First ever Callahan Award winner from Cal Berkeley in the men's division. Kobe Wynn and Marissa Rafter already won it for Cal in the women's division. More importantly, second half of the women's semi is coming up. Second half moments away as Dexter Clyburn just became the 60th person to win the Callahan Award. Started in 1996, founded by Charles Kerr, named after Henry Callahan. The award has been given out every year, including 2020. Since that first 1996 award went to Oregon State's Keith Monahan and Pennsylvania's Val Kelly. Carleton's had a couple Callahan winners, but that's only because I believe regional coordinators had the power to nominate Alex Nord and Miranda Roth, two generational talents that played for Carleton. An extended halftime gave Washington a little bit more time to chat, but it's a turnover on the opening 0 point out of the hands of Lucy Tanner. Mia Beeman Weber orchestrating the D-line attack. Beeman Weber to the end zone. Got it. Audrey Parrott extends the Syzygy lead.
What a way to come back from halftime. Capitalizing on the miscue from Washington, the slight error in throw. You can see that there's a little bit of frustration for the Element side. This has not been how they wanted this game to go. A little bit low and snapped up by the defense, and Carleton goes so quickly the other direction. Beeman Weber over the top to the far side. Parrott aware of where the sideline was, focusing on the space and the disc.
Perfect put from Beeman Weber. Tallest player that Logan Weiss has coached in his 13 years leading the Syzygy program. This is a critical moment here for Element. It can get away from you pretty quick if you get sloppy and lose focus, especially against a team like Carleton with the playmakers to capitalize, as we've seen.
Washington proved they could be patient against this Carleton zone before.
Well, big bluff for the deep shot. The issues that I'm seeing, Katie, and feel free to disagree, but it's just kind of the handlers catching swings. No one is coming to the disc to put pressure on the cup and create some lanes. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, not until Gadu got it there as a travel is called on the sideline, which is, I suppose, going to send this disc back, or at least one continuation.
I mean, that's a costly travel if it's upheld. Because it felt like that throw unlocked things for this Element offense.
Saying that the foot moved.
Can I get a clarification?
Yeah, I can rules clarify for you.
Like if I go to and it's ruled as
I'm not going to clarify the outcome. I can either uphold this travel or I can say no travel. Or you can leave it contested and it comes to your whatever the stall was, +1.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the observer.
Observer ruling there was no travel, the disc is going to stay down there. No one move, like, there it is. Everybody, yep, back to where the catch was. Thank you, 49.
Travel calls are really tough. Like, does the pivot foot move? Yes, but I'm fine with the observer saying no travel there, because if that's a travel, we could have 100 travel calls every game, and nobody wants that. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, they added some clarification in the rules about gaining an advantage with travels to stop that ticky-tacky, game-stopping travel call that you're talking about, Evan. And so I think the clarification is actually where the disc is going to come back in, where that first continuation was. But I agree with the uphold there, because the foot does move, but it's not necessarily gaining a significant advantage, like if someone was in power position, like if they were doing another big challenge the other side, you know, turning a corner, gaining a lot of steps, those kind of travel violations.
Lights are on here at Burlington Edison High School, but still not totally dark. Nearly 9 p.m. Pacific. Ooh, that was risky, but Tam keeps it alive and then calls a foul on Christakos.
Big bid coming in there. Washington still with possession of it here.
To the end zone, perfect spot. Audrey Parrott, perfect placement. Critical score for Element.
Isabella Farr with the throw there, and I believe limp in the end zone. A lot of starts and stoppages on that particular possession for Washington, but able to focus through it. And you can see the inside flick there out into space. The high school teammates connect again, finding the window of space. Limp knew where it was coming. Great focus for this Washington line.
Let's get organized. All right, we don't have to be at their frantic pace. We can go lateral. Yeah, for sure. We can attack passes. All right, keep up the patience.
So right now the arounds feel hard because they are like this on the mark. Like you cannot do that. All contact is slow resets, and they need to set that. Keep calling it until they start doing it. Also, I'm going to talk to you right now. Way too
But we're gonna step above it. We're gonna rise above it.
Trust, passion, great growth. Trust, passion, great growth. Trust, passion, great growth. Trust, passion, great growth.
Well, you get the sense Element's about to stack a D-line and try to turn the tide in this game. Lou Burris playing catch with everybody on the line. Bunch of Carleton alums letting their voices be heard.
It feels a little bit more nervy all of a sudden, Evan. Both of these teams, as the lights come on and the focus is really all on them, knowing that this could be the last game that they played together as a team.
Look at the hustle down to cover the pull, but then they gave Gelfand the open look, and that gets Carleton to midfield and on the move. Looking long. Tipped away. Lauren Gadou has arrived. I was just thinking, and I almost said it, and maybe the thought was what made it happen, that Lauren Gadou's too good, too dynamic to not make a big play at some point. And there's the block in the end zone.
Well, I heard counting again and a flat mark, so a change, getting the turn for Washington again as we see them going to work. This is the quick speed that I'm used to seeing this line move at, quickly moving the disc, trying to get against the run of play. They've gotten to half field and then get a little bit stuck.
High stall situation, and Element got mucked up again by this Carleton defense.
The defense that Carleton's O-line is able to play, you can see Fina coming in and getting the block, bodying the space, and making sure that Limp didn't have a play on the second attempt.
Barton. Pretty good defense to deny Burris. But now it's Barton again. Here's Opal Burris. The Syzygy possession hadn't included Gelfand until now. There's nothing super complex about this Carleton offense, but it's excellent execution. Gelfand in the end zone. Another opportunity missed for Washington.
Washington Element has some excellent defenders, but I think that they're more comfortable defending cutters in the cutting space. We've seen them get big blocks in the end zone on receivers, but they're not able to really put enough pressure on the Carleton throwers. They're breaking the mark, they're getting easy resets. You can see Burris here, there's not a lot of pressure put on any of these throwers. They're breaking the mark, they're going the other direction, and that kind of force, this handler defensiveness is what they need, I think, to stop this Carleton team, because they have great receivers. They're great at their deep game, but if you're going to take that away with your upfield defenders, they're fine to chip it down the field little bit by little bit. The wind has essentially gone away for the moment. It's not really affecting the throws or the deep throws in the same way that it was earlier in the day. But if Carleton's going to beat you deep or they're going to beat you under, it doesn't really matter, because they are committed to beating you. The crowd seems like they're having a great time tonight, but the players are starting to get a little bit more tense. They seemed much more free and excited to play in those first couple of points, and now in the second half, both teams starting to show their nerves a little bit. Nobody's really blinked, but we'll see what happens. We haven't seen a high turnover point in this game.
You now have a ready signal. Syzygy, you may pull when ready.
You can see how far back in that box Syzygy is standing after those couple of offsides calls.
Yeah. Another critical possession for Washington Element. Palmer swings it for Tanner. Good continue. Syzygy has had Washington's number. They've won the last 5 meetings against Element dating back to 2022. Element with big ambitions to change that here tonight in dramatic fashion. Either way, it's going to be an electric atmosphere tomorrow. But there's something about if it were UBC from Vancouver and this UW team from Seattle here in Burlington, about halfway between these two Pacific Northwest cities, that would be special. Savannah Tucker started on Element as a practice player, and now she was their Callahan nominee. Coaches just raved about how much she's grown, what she has meant to the program with her passion and energy and leadership coming from Austin, Texas.
She's contributing on both sides of the disc, and I think it's really important for this Washington side to be able to transition from the handler to the cutter space and cycle through their players a little bit more, because the Syzygy defenders are learning and they are really finding ways to shut people down in those moments, in those places where they're usually playing. You have to change things up as an offense. You can't do the same thing over and over and over and over again, because the defense will learn and block it. So you have to be adaptive.
Burris working with Gelfand. Before Nationals, Katie, I asked Logan Weiss how Gelfand has evolved and improved as a sophomore. And he said it's one of those things when you're around him all the time, you're not always aware of the ways that they're changing, but she's absolutely leveled up. This throw testing Gadu, and a foul was called. You know which way the crowd wants this to be ruled.
Yeah, give us 1 second.
Ambitious throw there from Gelfand. They both went up straight, but there's a lot of contact on the way down.
I think this is going to be an upheld foul.
It can be either one of you.
If it goes to the observer. But I could be wrong.
Okay, foul contested. It's coming back.
It was so close between those two players, it almost looked like McRoy Deed herself tipping it out, but I don't know that Gadu could have made that play without creating contact on the way down, so I honestly think the foul contestant sending it back, leaving possession with Carleton and giving them another shot at it, it might be the most fair thing to do because they don't have the benefit of replay like we do.
Well, Syzygy able to punch it in with Shire. Scoring goal number 11 for Carleton tonight. This game is not about one single call. That was an interesting one, though. You know, Gadu went up. Certainly there was contact. And, you know, the receiver, it was Kylie McRoy, right? She got a hand on it as she was getting hit from behind.
Both going up really straight. McRoy is actually the one that tips it, but Gadu hits on the way down.
Yeah, you can't say it's uncatchable because she gets a hand on it, obviously.
It's interesting if right or wrong, if the crowd gets incensed against this Carleton team, that could honestly be a big emotional sway in this game. Because the crowd is packed, and when the Washington fans get involved, I feel the entire building shaking. A zone trapping Washington on the sideline. Carleton is really trying to keep this element side guessing. And honestly, the fakes from Taylor keep me guessing too. I keep thinking that the disc is gonna leave her hand.
Up the line, that was deflected. Nizer got a piece of it, but it was caught anyway. And Louis near the sideline to Tam. Cross field, this is dangerous. Looking for Tucker and gets there. I'm not sure that throw would work multiple times if you tried it again.
And I don't think it would have worked earlier today in the wind, but it doesn't have to work earlier today. It has to work right now.
Oh, the hammer fake. Transformed the defense just enough. And then Louis had a wide open lane coming under for the score.
I think Louis is an underrated player on this Washington O-line. The coaches were talking about how the captain is always the outlet for this team. And you can see why here, finding the space underneath, not attracting the attention of a defender, and gets the easy block in the middle of kind of a mess of Syzygy players.
I'm trying to figure out why the Texas fans look so supportive of the UW cause.
They are in the same region, but...
No.
earlier today they were rooting against Colorado and for Washington, and Colorado's in the same region, so that might have been a rivalry.
Okay.
And maybe Washington just played so well that the tough boys decided that they were going to be stands.
And maybe they're just celebrating their season and enjoying the moment, and you can extrapolate from there. All right. The Colorado-Oregon game earlier was really good, but we haven't had a great semifinal yet today. Can Washington do a little bit better job capitalizing on their opportunities if they can create some more? 1 for 6 on break chances is not going to be good enough.
We're seeing some players cross over for this D-line possession. Tanner on the field, as well as Kelly Tam for the Washington side. Gelfand is being marked by Gadu, and they're almost out of frame on the far side of the field.
Now Gelfand's coming toward the disc. Fina. Burris. Wow. Neither Gadu nor Gelfand were very involved, and I think Carleton was okay with that. Like, let's keep Gadu away from the action and trust our other throwers. And they march down the field. 21 passes later, it's a 12-9 lead.
That ability to lose their 7, Gadu trying to pull out of that as Fina speeds maybe faster than she was expecting into that space. But I think one of the things that has made Syzygy so dangerous all year is their ability to use the full 7 on any line. Sometimes you can get it done essentially with a dominator set, 3 players taking the majority of the action while the other 4 create space for them to work in. And Carleton doesn't really care which of the players are making the play because they are trusting them to do it in those big moments. And you can see that Gelfand, who's been impactful there, content to be pulled out of the lane and take one of the main defenders and weapons for that Washington D side, Gadu, out of the play. And
Gelfand stays out there.
She's going to go the other direction. I feel like she plays a couple of points all at once and then takes a little break, and it makes it hard to figure out where she's going to be.
Gelfand setting the mark on Palmer. That's a nice throw. By the way, our friend and colleague Sheena Titcomb suggested via text that perhaps the Texas fans are rooting for Savannah Tucker, and that would make a lot of sense because she's from Austin. To Stahl.
Element ran out of options, and instead of punting the disc to give someone a chance, it's a stall.
Reynolds had nowhere to go. Carleton looking to extend the lead. Gelfand gonna be the orchestrator as usual. Fina keeps it moving for Parrott. Former member of the Carleton track team. Shooting it to the end zone. Fina with Tucker approaching, but Tucker can't get there quickly enough. It's a Carleton break.
Tucker making up a lot of ground there, but in Fina's hands, Fina 2 scores in a row. Getting the mark and the stall, and then working on the other side of the disc. Gelfand gets this up line and then puts it into space. You can see Tucker making up space, getting there just too late. It was already in Fina's hands.
Another visionary throw from Chagall Gelfand. Just putting it to the best space for her teammate. That's 6 assists to go along with 2 goals and 2 blocks. And Carleton is 2 scores away from making it a battle between the 1 seed and the 2 seed in the women's division tomorrow. Interestingly enough, we got the 3 seed and the 4 seed in the men's, with Colorado and Carleton cut. Our Discraft play of the game, acrobatic defensive effort from Caitlin Eigel. But you need to catch your D's when Naomi Fina is in the area.
A timeout taken by Washington.
As desperation time for Element in their first semifinal since the December Nationals in 2021, the Abby Hecko Show, where Washington advanced all the way to the finals before they ran into the Pleiades buzzsaw. That was the first of the 4 straight UNC women's titles, and we should mention that North Carolina, after 4 consecutive championships, stunningly lost their first 3 games of the tournament all on Universe. Lauren Gadou's going deep. She's got the size, and she can't read the goal. Carleton will pick up and attack the other way. It's the first time tonight we've seen Washington try to really use Gadou in that role, crossing her over. Carleton, though, gives it back. Maddie Callan overthrows her intended target. There's Gadou laying out for the under. Beeman Weber on the mark. Farr lets it rip. Rowan Lee got it! The high school teammates connect on another spectacular play. Element not done yet.
What a throw from Farr.
I mean, in a game with Chagall Gelfand throwing one beautiful throw after another, it says a lot that Isabella Farr has had maybe the best 1 or 2 throws of the game.
The backhand, the shape on that going towards the open side, it's opposite of where you would expect it, and most throwers throw it. It's to a space where only Limp can get it without the defender going entirely through her. But they're gonna have to do that 3 more times to tie it, and even more if they're gonna upset Carleton's title hopes.
I feel like Isabella Farr is not going to leave this field as long as Element still has a little bit of oxygen. That disc landed on the line, I think. It was so close to staying in, but ruled out by the observer nearby, and that'll allow Carleton to trot it to the brick. Opal Burris to initiate. Her sister Helen, who will join Carleton Syzygy next year, is here on the sidelines helping out. Of course, Lou Burris's famous column was "Win the Fields," Gelfand, another perfect put. Just ridiculous. Eliza Barton had the easy job running it down. 14-10.
I mean, that is how you draw up a pole play. You start from the brick mark and you have your cutter run a route, but you have to have throwers like Gelfand to execute it. Gets the initiation play and then this inside flick on a line into the space. Two defenders in the area patrolling. Gadu, one of them. But with a throw that precise, defenders don't have a chance.
Chagall Gelfand has thrown half of Carleton's scores. She's also caught 2 goals. In some ways, just because this is Chagall's first semifinal, this is a breakout performance under the lights with everybody watching. But for those who haven't been watching, she's been doing this for Syzygy since she showed up. And it's made Carleton really tough to beat. And she'll be teammates with Chloe Hakimi next year, assuming Chloe tries out and makes the team. Do you think she has a chance to make the team? I think she's got a shot.
It'd be silly not to take her. Washington Element continues to work.
Louis looking long. Tucker shy of the end zone. Some contact downfield. We play on, and Tam throws the Washington score. KJ Hickey, one of the 4 players on this Washington team who's from outside the state of Washington with the score.
Important D moments here for Washington. Carleton is going to have an offensive possession and they just need 1 to win. Washington has gotten some turns, but they haven't been able to punch in the brakes as we get another look at this run from Savannah Tucker on the end zone line. Reeled in and then calmly dishing the disc. There's a lot of traffic actually in front, and then from the back of the end zone into the open deep space, Hickey.
All right, we've talked a lot about Gadu and this Washington D-line. It is now or never right now for the Element D. Can they slow down Gelfand and this Carleton machine?
Well, they disrupted the pool play, which is the first step.
Right now, Gelfand just chilling deep downfield. Opportunity! And it's deflected for the block. Isabella Farr creates a possession here for Element. Kome Matsutori resets for Farr. You know, she wants to fire long. Sola Truong with a good gainer to Limp. And she'll take the deep shot. Anna Pettis is there. Element breaks to stay alive.
Anna Pettis, one of the captains for this Element side, a name we haven't said much, but really filling the role of that release valve. Limp had been in the dim. Ooh, I'm getting excited in this moment. But Limp had been hunting in that deep space. This is another look at the block by Farr. Tries to get the second effort, and then Limp got that on the under and puts it into the end zone.
And for Anna Pettis, who tore her ACL as a freshman trying out for the team, didn't get to play her entire freshman year, stuck with it. Now she's a junior captain, scoring a goal to keep her team alive in the semifinals. And I'm just going to throw this out there. Last year, we saw some of the craziest, stunning semifinal comebacks in the history of this great event. Haven't had anything quite like that today. Carleton hoping to keep this simple and straightforward, whereas Washington wants to add to the drama. British Columbia awaits the winner. Burris and Fina at midfield, now looking for Gelfand. Gadu is right there to set the mark. A laser to the end zone. That was overly ambitious. It's the first real mistake for Chagall Gelfand today.
They're forcing a high stall count. The defenders on the handlers have really stepped up, and they're not giving Carleton very many options.
High stall situation, Farr gets it to Limp. Gadu made a in-cut, then broke deep. Look out, Fina's coming, but Washington able to maintain possession. I'm not quite sure how. And again, a pass that looked destined for the ground. Did it stay up? Sola Truong was right there. The crowd thinks it was up.
Okay. Steve,
they're biased.
Get in there.
Give me 1 second.
Steve, go in.
Observers will come together. Here's your look.
The observer down.
Oh my.
Stay where you are. Stay where you are, please.
From the replay, it was hard to tell, but it looked, Katie, like it was up.
It looked up to me. It looked like she had control of it and then hit the ground. Sometimes that's so hard to see in a mass of people, but Carleton with the disc.
Another chance for Syzygy to advance back to the finals at Nationals. Carleton hasn't been to the final since 2013. When they met Lou Burris's Oregon Fugue squad, of course. To the end zone for the victory. Carleton Syzygy is back in the finals at Nationals. 15-12. 2025 will have a Carleton flavor on Memorial Day Monday. Up or down here? Oh no. One call certainly doesn't decide the game, but it looks like that break went Syzygy's way. Parrott to Fina, two of the Syzygy stars. 5 goals, 1 assist for Naomi Fina. And Carleton versus British Columbia. The top 2 seeds in the women's division will meet for it all tomorrow afternoon. The men's final begins at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. local time here in Washington. The women's final, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 local time. 15-12. Element had their chances, bottom right of the graphic.
Only converting 2 of those 8 break chances, and rewatching those games, they have to be proud of the defense that they've played, getting a lot of blocks on a dominant Carleton side. But those differences in turnovers, just giving Carleton the disc back too many times. What a game, Evan.
Carleton 15 goals, just 9 turns. And while Audrey Parrott, Naomi Fina, Opal Burris were great, no one was greater than Chagall Gelfand, the sensational sophomore for Carleton, standing by with our Keith Rayner.
I'm here with Carleton's Chagall Gelfand. Chagall, you reached the finals with an incredible performance in the semifinal, playing in front of a crowd that maybe felt hostile at times, but has to feel familiar to you. How are you feeling right now?
Just feels really good. I mean, we knew UW was going to be a tough matchup energy-wise. Like, they got the home turf advantage. It's a big team. Because Carleton has a lot of Seattle people, it's definitely a little bit intense, but we love that energy, and I think that, I don't know, pressure is privilege, and the reason that, we are here is to play games like that, and we are honestly just super grateful to UW for, giving us a fucking fight. Yeah.
So your team is now going to be in a great position, and part of that came from the success that you had today. What do you feel like helped you find the end zone so many times and reach that kind of height with your team?
I think that a lot of the games we've played in the past 2 days, we've been able to run our bottom half a lot, which has given our top half so much legs. And I think the reason that we were able to succeed so much today is because our D2, our zone line, we're out there giving us the energy. It is all from the bottom up, and we are just I'm just so grateful for our ability to run our depth this weekend. It's what got us here. It's why we're in the final. Yeah.
Also, in addition to the crowd, but a lot of familiar faces on the other side, people you played with and against over the years in high school. What was it like to compete against them?
I mean, it's always a lot of fun. It's definitely gets a little chippy sometimes, but yeah, it's super fun to play against high school teammates or people that I played against in high school. Yeah, super fun. Always a good time. Go Seattle.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Chagall. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Chagall Gelfand was spectacular, and she helps lead Carleton to the final for the first time since 2013, when now Washington coach Julia Snyder helped to lead that 2013 Carleton team, along with Anna Reed and others, to the finals where they fell to Oregon. It'll be Carleton and UBC tomorrow. Quick thought, Katie, on the women's championship game, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern tomorrow, or later today for our East Coast viewers.
It feels inevitable. The 1 seed versus the 2 seed. We've been wanting to see this matchup almost for the entire season. When they're at this point, the culmination of their season, it couldn't be more exciting of a final. But the semi to get there, Washington certainly giving Carleton a run for their money. Their defensive pressure immense, but not able to convert on the other side. We saw some high-flying plays today, but Chagall Gelfand was really impressive.
Well, in honor of Lou Burris, I think it's fair to say today Carleton won the fields. We'll see if they can do it tomorrow. First meeting of the season between Carleton and UBC tomorrow, again at 4:30 Eastern. The men's final features Carleton and Colorado. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Eastern time on ESPNU. For Katie Killebrew, Keith Rayner, and the entire Ultiworld team, led by the incomparable Charlie Eisenhood, I'm Evan Leffler. It's a privilege, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Championship Monday here at Nationals.